Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dimpled Balls Golf YouTube channel. Today we got another instructional slash tip video for you guys to get more power on your ball. Whether you're in the middle of the fairway or you're on the tee box, these 3 tips were going to help you get more power and more strike behind the ball. So the only way this works is if you already have a decent swing path and you're pretty consistent when striking. If you lose that consistency, by all means do not listen to these tips, because you need the consistency for ball striking before you can implement these tips. But again, you could be a beginner, you could be an amateur, you could be a professional, and these tips will help you generate more club head speed to drive through the ball that much further and get it to fly that much farther. And before we begin, I want to give a huge shout out to Eric's family for hooking it up with the net. This is a really cool backyard tool to be able to get my swing down, drive through that consistently, and become a better golfer overall. So shout out to Eric's family. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like button on these types of videos, because we got them coming out every single week. Every Sunday there's a new video. If there isn't, you can hold my feet to the fire. But if this is the first time you're seeing this channel, welcome. My name is Brett. We got a bunch of instructional tip videos. We have challenges. We have a bunch of other fun golf reviews videos up on the channel right now, and more to come. So please, by all means, consider hitting that subscribe button, hit the little bell, turn on notifications right next to it so that you never miss an upload. Let's get right into the video. In order to hit the ball further, you have to have the first thing, which of course is club head speed. So in order to generate more club head speed, you're going to want to have this thing flying faster, right? And we all know that. How do we get this to fly faster through the air, through the ground, and strike the ball quicker, right? We all want to do that. We all get up to that 18th tee box to try and outdrive our buddies. We get up there, we square up, and we try and absolutely obliterate the ball, and usually we end up duffing it, right? Because we try and swing harder, we try and do everything that we can to generate more power from within us, like we can conjure it up like we're the Incredible Hulk or something. But that's technically not correct in the scientific world. You can't just conjure up more power unless you grunt or you're a female tennis player. But if you want to generate more club head speed, you're gonna wanna get this side of the club slowing down or stopping / braking, and this club speeding up. So if you can find the difference between the two, you can get the club to go that much further. So watch what happens to the club head when I take my hands with the club and I don't break them. Right? That club head is not moving that fast. I can even try and go faster, and it's really not moving that fast. Now watch what happens when I break my hands to that club head on the other side. You might be even able to hear that. I can hear it. But I'm breaking my hands, and that's what's going to generate even more club head speed. So let me make sure that I have enough space here so I'm not hitting the net next time. And I'll show you just by breaking the hands how much quicker you can get your ball striking to be. And again, I'm going to stop this swing even short just to prove that you don't need a big downswing or a big follow through in order to get that club head speed going just by breaking your hands. See, so I barely came back on the downswing, and I barely came through on the follow, but I was able to generate a lot of club head speed right there, and that ball was flying further than the first one that I hit. So the first tip is to really emphasize breaking your hands and throwing the club at the ball. Just throwing it as hard as you can. And again, it's not really something that you just conjure up. It's more of a scientific method to use the other side of the handle to slow this side down and speed the other side up, creating that kind of a whipping action. So the second tip for that I can give you guys is to coil. And a lot of people, and last round that I played, I was playing with Dom at a golf course, and I was just shaking my irons, but I was able to correct this technique mid-round, and I was able to hit some good balls to finish up the round. What I was doing was I was coming back with my hips and forward with my hips to try and generate more power, get more yardage on my striking. But in reality, all I want to do is coil back and coil forward, and that will generate way more power than what I was trying to do with my hips. Again, if you rock with your hips, this is going to lead to a lot more inconsistencies as well. What you want to do is coil your hips, rotate back, rotate forward, and that's going to give you the club head speed. So combine that with tip number 1 of creating that handle speed with the whipping action, and you're gonna have some good striking right here. So we'll slow it down, we'll show the replay it right there. But again, it's just coiling back. And if you want to bend this leg because it helps you turn, like me, I'm kind of a bigger guy, so the more I bend this knee, the more I can turn and coil back, the better you can even get it to go, right? I know my boss Martin calls this the stanky leg that I have, but honestly, if you look at a lot of pro golfers, they have the exact same form where their front leg bends, they coil back, and then they explode through the ball. Which is a perfect segue into tip number 3 to generate more club head speed and hit the ball that much further, is to use the ground, right? The ground was intended for us to use. You look at any sport, you look at shot putting, you look at tennis, you look at baseball, even basketball, they're using the ground to their advantage, right? They're jumping off the ground, they're getting that power so Curry can hit the 54-footer, so Serena Williams can knock home the Wimbledon championship. They're just using the ground to be able to generate that power, right? A lot of us think that we can just generate it ourselves, including myself, but it's not, you know, it's not scientific, it's not correct. So we're gonna wanna use the ground to our advantage here, right? You wanna really feel like you're pushing off the ground. So if that helps you to go down and then come up, then by all means, you're gonna wanna do that. But remember, go back to tip 2, do not rock your hips. You don't want to come back and forward. So in baseball, maybe you're coming off that back hip, you're moving your hips back, you're moving your hips forward. In golf, we just kind of want to rotate, bend if you have to, and then explode through the ball. So now you're rotating forward and you're pushing off that ground, right? Again, we don't want this, we want this. And you can see your head level change. Record yourself, grab a friend, get them to record your swing. Your head does change. Your head level goes from about here to about here to about here. You want to be looking at the ball at all times, but your head level does change. Hopefully I can give you a good example in here right here. So again, to kind of recap, we want to generate our power through the ground without moving our hips too much forward and back. We want to rotate them. Tip number 2, rotate. Tip number 1, use the handle to explode through the ball, create more of a whipping action, rotate our hips, and then use the ground as leverage to go ahead and push off, push up, help generate that much more speed and power. That was probably the best ball that I hit. It felt flushed, it felt good. I'm gonna show you a little bit more from behind and then we'll go from there. All right, so one more time from the back so you can see it from all different angles. Again, the 3 tips: create that whipping action with the handle, generate more club head speed, rotate the hips, coil back, coil forward, explode through the ball. And then the 3rd and final tip is to use the ground. Use the ground as leverage. If you can watch my front knee, it'll go from here to here. And it's just about me using that leverage, that ground, to generate even more power and more speed. And some of the best golfers in the world will have this leg almost like this by the time they create contact with the ball. Almost like this by the time they strike it. So let's see it one more time. Hopefully I can give you guys a good one. All right, we're starting to break down that net, but that's because we're hitting the ball so dang fast and so dang hard. So hopefully those 3 tips help you. Again, let me know in the comment section if you guys struggle with trying to generate power or if you just don't know where it comes from. Hopefully these 3 tips help you. If you know somebody that you consistently outdrive every hole or you hit it further with your irons, send this video to them. Maybe it'll help them. Maybe we can all become scratch golfers one day. If you guys did enjoy it, smack the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace. But again, keep your hips stationary and then just point the knob at that mat and the front knee. Go slow if you have to. That sounded crushed.
It felt crushed.
Yeah, and the club gives you a lot of response. These old clubs will tell you.
This one really does. It feels great.
Yeah, it'll tell you.
My new ones just suck it all in.
Yeah, they absorb a lot of the shock. Did it feel flushed? Yeah.
That was mac.
You can tell when you get them perfectly because you don't feel anything at all.
Well, if I let that knee kind of get really live, that time I literally just kind of went.
No, that's the beauty of it, is that knee can do literally whatever it wants as long as it comes back to square.
It'd be neat to have the little controller to tell us what these are.
Yeah. Yeah, those are 10 grand.
All right, on that one.
I did that too earlier.